Hi, I'm Sean Maguire and I play Krod Mandoon.
I am India Beaufort and I play Annika.
I'm Brad Johnson, one of the writers.
Peter Knight, also executive producer. Peter Knight, I created it, and executive producer. Brad's also executive producer, and we wrote all the episodes.
Peter Knight!
There's a kind of a funny answer to this question. I'm so bad at pitching it that I wrote it, and it was sitting with some friends. I was trying to say kind of what it was about, and they're like, "You shouldn't pitch that because I don't think you'll do it very well. You should write that." So, knowing that I'll do anything to not answer the "what's it about." It's about a warrior and his band of men as they and women. His band of men and women. As they stand up against the forces of evil for Chancellor Dongalore, and it's a heroic, epic story. It has sort of a Joseph Campbell overlay, which is the hero's journey that Krod is on. But it's also, I think that's sort of what it is on its face. As you break it down, it's really about the relationship that Krod has with Annika, and a sort of a tortured relationship. And it's about.
I think it's taking a classic heroic figure and giving him modern problems and issues, and so it's I think a collision of a classic genre piece, and the neurotic writings of like a Larry David or somebody like that, letting a very flawed backstory into this heroic character.
That sums it up as well as anyone could. Well, Krod is the sort of quintessential hero. He's the guy who can save the day and save the world. But as Peter said earlier, it's a great explanation. If you're watching the movie of this guy and how he saves the world, it's the bits you don't see where he's saving the world. It's the bits after the battle where he's dealing with his band and having all the sort of modern problems that the modern man encompasses today. He's a bit of a germaphobe, he's a little neurotic, he's a little insecure, he's dating somebody who he feels he can't really hold on to.
He's got a team that really could benefit from some pruning.
Yeah, they're not the best, they're not an elite force. But he's good and he's loyal and he's decent and and he can save the day, but if he does, it'll probably be by accident.
And I play Annika, she's a pagan warrioress, and she's feisty and strong-willed and passionate and MVP, I'd say, most of the time.
Yes.
MVP. And she has this interesting relationship with Krod whereby she relies on her sexual arsenal as her weapon of choice. So she's a little bit promiscuous, but it's her religious right. She's pagan, so that's justified. And then you have this relationship with Krod the hero, who wants a girlfriend all to himself, whereas she feels like bending the rules isn't a problem, and there you have it.
She sleeps around a bit.
She is a bit of a slut.
Yeah, she's a bit of a slut.
Well, now hold on. She's a spiritually gifted pagan woman.
She's committed to her.
She's committed.
You can art it up whichever way you want, but she's putting it about.
It would be your nightmare of a girlfriend. It would be, and that's kind of how she was developed, which is what would be the most horrifying thing
to
fall
her
in love
also,
with.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I don't want to.
Yeah, that's because you can't not.
No, you can't
love her,
love
but you
her.
also can't keep her.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
it's a guy. It's basically as a guy, it's your worst nightmare. You've got an absolutely gorgeous, stunning girl who's ticks all the boxes, but the problem is she
ticks everybody.
And you work well together, and it's your torture that this is she's the only woman that you'll ever really love.
Yeah.
But it's never gonna be on the terms that you want it to be.
Exactly.
And I think that's a metaphor for love.
Yeah.
But she's still, she's part of the team, and she loves the guys, and she's with them all the way.
Yeah.
She's still a very important team member.
Yes, vital.
Vital.
Can we run a few scenes?
Should we go now? Make it a kiss.
Because I almost wanted to I almost found myself hearing you say, "I'm never going to be the girl you want me to be."
That's where I was. That's where I was at. You'll have to watch it to find out what we're going on about.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
There is, yeah. I mean, it's very much. I mean, explaining what it is, it's an action adventure comedy. I mean, in its simplest in its simplest terms. And there's a lot of sword fighting and horse riding and battles and some horse raping.
There is?
Yeah, it's got all of the conventional things that you'd want from this.
Effects.
Yeah, there's a lot of
epic.
There's a lot of stuff in there, but you know, it could have very simply just been an all-out action adventure show, but the guys have very cleverly put just a sort of humanistic comedic spin on it. It's sort of like the things that they would discuss in real life in a movie if you never, you know, that you never got to see.
Okay. Yeah, it's, you know, like I think that everybody has a sense of what the genre of fantasy is and what it means and why it doesn't throw anybody to see a guy with a sword and kind of dressed in period garb. But in Beowulf, which I didn't see, but I hear wonderful things about. I imagine that you don't, you know, sort of see him, you know, sending a card to his mother.
Yeah.
You know, it's the unused
Writing
space.
his diary.
Yeah, exactly. That genre leaves you to work with, and that's where I think we do our best work.
Yeah.
Is in the unused space. But I think we also, I think we have some good, you know, as the sizzle reel shows, and that's only really got about half of the shoot involved, you know, in it. If they were to cut it today, I think you could cut it in a way that said, "Here's an action movie," and I think people would go, "Oh, that looks like a good action movie." You could, and you know, there's a lot of ways to carve the turkey. Not that the show's a turkey.
Already needs some.
Fabulous.
Cut that bit out.
Yeah. It's kind of came from really comic books. Probably Conan the Barbarian was probably the biggest influence in terms of just getting to the heart of the X-ray of you know, the negative image of you know, Conan, where he's strong, but what's happening on the edges is probably the number one thing if I were boiling it down. And then, you know, the other characters filled in. You know, the idea of having your girlfriend be this promiscuous woman that you're like, the idea of being driven crazy by a relationship was appealing to me, and you know, and then why, and then filling out why. Well, because she uses her sexuality, and you sort of you know, the idea of you're a freedom fighter, but you have your manservant kind of big guy, a Grobble, who identifies himself to the public as your slave, and that creates a PR nightmare for you. And a warlock who really could do stage magic was kind of the original conception. You know, like and Kevin Hart certainly made the character of Zelzberg, you know, his own. Then so that was sort of in the first episode. And then Brad and I, in writing the remainders, really, you know, you really have a chance to flesh out the characters and kind of play with the things that you like the most and turn this up and bring that up.
We found a mentor character.
Yeah, right.
And once we, you know, kind of put the hero's journey overlay, you know, one of the key characters that we felt we needed was the person, you know, his mentor, which is General Arcadius, who's killed in the first episode, and that begot Bruce, who's the newest member of the team, was his jailhouse lover, and
spoiler alert.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So Bruce is again somebody you should probably cut loose.
Probably, yeah.
But
probably he's not in the gang.
He's brought on, and he's now part of the team.
Played by the wonderful Marcus Ray.
Yes.
Well, actually, we had gone down that road with Marvel, and there's gonna be there will be a Krod comic book on Marvel. We actually saw the artwork today.
Yeah,
Which is
very exciting.
Very exciting.
I might be saying his name wrong, but Agustin Padilla. Agustin, we like your work.
Because we have mortgages.
Yes.
And they have children that will go hungry. I mean, it's one of those shows that I don't, you know, we hope that people will watch, and we feel that we've all really made something that is kind of special. It's not just for me personally. I've done a few TV shows. This one sort of stands on its own. It's something that I feel incredibly proud of, and it was put together with a great deal of love and attention, and you know, we've worked very hard on it.
I'd like to add on to that, because we're at Comic-Con, and it's a really cool thing to walk out onto the floor at Comic-Con and see people who really like what they like, and they're not afraid to just just dress up like Boba Fett, who I had my picture with earlier. You know,
that's cool.
And you know, they're not afraid to really love what they love, and I think that this is a show for people who love what they love, because we love it. I think this is a dream cast. It's just been a thrill to do it, and a lot of love has gone into this, and it's something that I'm proud of, and I think that particularly the people that are, you know, on the floor today people who love what they love will I think respond to it, and you know, we start there and hopefully take over the world.